Coming up now, we have another daily contribution to our news at 5:30. Going to come from News 8's Ray Rice, and Ray will offer his perspective of unique people and events and places. And this evening, Ray joins us live from the governor's residence, where a special event is now underway. Good evening, Ray.
Good evening, Patty, and thank you. And as you can see, I'm joined this evening by the First Lady of the state of Indiana, and this is Scott Russell Sanders, who is a writer. And these people are involved in a book because this is a celebration tonight about a very special book that is like none other. It's called Where We Live, and it's a series of essays about Indiana. And this is really a very good first Indiana's Own for the 5:30 segment, because the book is about people, it's about Hoosiers, and there is something here to which we can each relate. As we look at some Indiana images, we can say that this is a book not so much about places and things, but it's about people, Hoosiers, and where we live. A dozen leading Hoosier writers were asked to contribute their own Indiana experience, and what is shared is not nostalgia, but a contemporary anthology. It is also not designed to be a representative cross-section of the Indiana experience, but as you read it, you will see a composite portrait emerge. David Hoppy is the Senior Program Officer with the Indiana Humanities Council.
We hear voices coming from various cities around the state, voices coming from rural settings. We hear people talking about various types of ethnic experience, older voices and younger voices as well. And so when all of those voices form a chorus, one begins to get a sense really of the diversity of the state.
And the very first essay in the book is written by Scott Russell Sanders. The essay is titled Landscape and Imagination. And Mrs. Sanders, you were saying that people don't move to Indiana for the scenery. I suspect that's accurate.
Well, some people, I'm sure, have moved to Indiana for its scenery. We don't think of Indiana as being a place that's spectacularly beautiful, like New England or like the Sierras or like the Pacific rainforest. But it's a place whose beauties, I think, are more subtle and that require keener perception.
And of course, we all relate to that, being Hoosiers.
We tend to take for granted what we see around us, things which are a customary part of our world, whether it's a barn in the distance with a silo beside it, or whether it's the hills in southern Indiana or the meandering limestone creeks. We tend to take those things for granted, and after a while, we don't see them. It's easier to see them when we return to them from elsewhere.
It is a wonderful essay, and I also have to point out just one of 12 in this wonderful book. And Mrs. Bayh is hosting the reception this evening to announce publication of the book. And as an avid reader, what do you think of it?
Well, the governor and I very much enjoyed the book. We enjoyed it because it showed a tremendous love for Indiana and a hard look at Indiana and how we can make Indiana a better place.
Of course, this is Literacy Month, so it ties right in.
Absolutely, and if you'll let me give my hotline number, we can talk to all those non-readers. The number, if you don't know how to read and would like to learn how to read this book, is 1-800-624-7585.
Very good, and thank you for being with. I love your house. Ken and Patty?
I love your house. Thank you, Ray. Is the book available now?
Yes, it is. It's available in bookstores across the state. And of course, funding for the reception was provided by Borders, so I assume they're also selling the book as well. Okay.
Thank you, Ray. Nice job. We'll see you every night here at 5:30. Ray will feature Indiana's Own each evening, as I said, and if you know of something or someplace or person who is Indiana's Own, please let Ray know. Write to Ray Rice, care of Wish TV. The number's right there on your screen. Post Office Box 7088, Indianapolis, Indiana, and our zip code here is 46207.
We will be right back, but first, here's a look at what's ahead tonight on Channel 8.